Okay, welcome. Today we are going to derive the formula for the sum of the angles of a triangle. And what you have in front of you is a handout packet that has two triangles stapled to each other. You can split them. The only reason we put them together is so that each student picked up two. What you're going to need today is you're going to need some tape. You're going to need three different colors of highlighters, which you can just share with your table partner. And you should have a pair of scissors at your tables. So to begin, deriving the sum of the angles of a triangle, instead of just telling you what the sum of the angles of a triangle are, and some of you might already know, we are going to do a little hands-on activity investigation. So the first thing I want you to do is take a look at your two triangles and make sure that they are looking like they're going in the same direction. If we're using this as my base here, and I'm going to make this angle pink on this one, okay, then I'm going to also make it pink on this one. Okay, and then I'm going to take my first triangle here and color the other two vertices or angles with obviously two different colors. So here I'm using green. Okay, you can use yellow, blue. These are the three that I chose. And I will do the same with the other triangle. That's a copy of it. And you'll see why in a little bit. All right, so go ahead and pause this video to finish your coloring and then come back on for the next set of instructions. Okay, welcome back. So we have two triangles. One I'm going to leave as it is on paper, and the other one I'm going to carefully cut out with scissors along that line. And you want to be as accurate as you can with cutting out that second one. Again, it doesn't matter what colors or in which order you did them, but once you cut it out, I do want you to go ahead and put it on top of the other triangle so that you can see that it's the same triangle. And what we're going to do next is we're going to measure the angles using a protractor. So I'm going to start at the pink. It doesn't matter which one you want to start with. Remember, you can always turn your paper to measure. Okay, so looking at our angle right here, remember lining up our 0 line and our plus sign here, the bullseye goes right on the vertex there on that point. And then we start counting up from 0. Counting up here, I have 0 all the way out to 60, 70, and then I have a little past 70, so I'm going to have to use the smaller tick marks up here that coincide with the 110 for 70. So 71, 72, 73. I'm getting 73 degrees for the pink one, and you can go ahead and label that on both. Okay, pause this video to measure the other two angles. Okay, if you measured the other two angles correctly, the blue here is 47 degrees, and the other angle is 60 degrees. So I'm going to just repeat that here. 60 degrees and 47 degrees. All right. So we are deriving the sum of the angles of a triangle. So let's take their sum just as numbers here. We have 73 degrees plus 60 degrees plus 47 degrees. And if you type that in on the calculator, it comes out to 180 degrees. So another thing that looking at that 180 degrees, that makes us think of a straight line. So we are going to see if these angles do in fact form that straight line. We can tell with the numbers that they do. But what you're going to do with this duplicate triangle is you're going to tear at the jagged sides because you want to keep these vertices, and we're going to try to lay them on a line to see if they do in fact also line up. Okay, so all I did was just tear them out. So go ahead and do your little tearing, and then we're going to make a straight line on this paper right here, right along the edge there, and put a point in the center because we want to line up our angles on there. Okay, pause again to do this next step. Okay, welcome back. Now what we're going to need is our tape. We have our 73 degrees. We want our point or vertex to be right on that dot, and we want that line or that edge of that triangle right on that edge as well. So I'm going to put that down and then just put a little piece of tape somewhere there to just hold it down. You might have to put a couple pieces of tape. And then I'm going to take the next one. It doesn't matter which one you want to do next, but I'll take the 60. And remember that when angles are adjacent, they have to share a ray. So again, lining up that ever so carefully to see if this actually, in fact, works like a little puzzle here to create that 180 degrees. And we have our 47 degrees, and if I just kind of slide that in, we can see that in fact, with all three of our angles, okay, all three angles do form a straight line if they're lined up on their edges. All right, so that is our proof. And now what you need to write on your worksheet is the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay, if you did this activity and followed all the steps, you should be able to just scan this in today to get a learning credit for doing that. The next activity is to work on a journal page question in your folder.